it's sort of at a place now where he had to compartmentalize and prioritize what is important to him as a player. He's made up his mind, and I'm just happy for him that he's still enjoying the game of cricket. All eyes will be focused on the 2027 World Cup, and obviously I wish him well.
Somebody who could innovate on the cricket pitch like no other. AB de Villiers is joining us as well. AB, good to be chatting with you again. I was thinking I'll check with you if you're tempted to play again, and you might convince Virat to come along. But now I'm told about how different the concept is. But every time we sort of catch up with you, we sort of want to sort of pick your brains on how your good friend Virat's doing. I must ask you, this is a year where he sort of walked away from Test cricket. Some of us thought, with slightly abruptly. Is that the feeling that you got as well, or how did you see it?
I won't say abruptly. He's not in his 20s anymore. He's served the country more than well over the years. With flying colours, he came through in all the formats. I think that's more just a workload management into a certain extent. He sort of had to. He's sort of at a place now where he had to compartmentalize and prioritize what is important to him as a player. And I think that World Cup sort of comes to mind. 2027 World Cup. We all know how special that is, and how special it would be for him to lift one alongside Rohit and a few of his friends. I think all his focus is on that now. He's done his bit in the Test arena. Also, obviously, I think the mental fatigue might have played a role as well. He's got a family now. There's lots of things to sort of take into consideration, and he's made up his mind. And I'm just happy for him that he's still enjoying the game of cricket, and he's still got the opportunity to play competitively, and hopefully for quite a few years to come. But I think all eyes will be focused on the 2027 World Cup, and obviously, I wish him well.
I remember doing an interview with you and Virat together, and when we were all sort of, me and Virat were going gaga about the kind of things that you could do. You sort of said, there's one thing that Virat could do that I couldn't, which is to play in the V so well. And it's funny how towards the back end of his career in Test cricket, some vulnerabilities sort of popped up. How particularly outside the off stump and an extended period of time. I just want to pick your brains on how does that happen to a player of his caliber for such a strong period of time.
That is the beauty of sport, and in this case of cricket, is every few years a new generation comes through, and they come with a whole new skill set. And I just think the bowling got a bit better. He had different challenges to face. No one is perfect, and everyone's got an area of weakness, perhaps. And it shows you how strong Virat is mentally and has been over the years. I don't think that little weakness outside off has ever left him, but he's managed to find a way to work through it, through character, through resilience. And that's also exactly what Test 20 will teach our youngsters, is just to yes, have the entertainment of T20 and the explosiveness and the entertainment thereof, but also learn to sort of find your own character and find a way to build through tough periods. And that's exactly what makes Virat so special. So the bowling got a bit better towards the back end of his Test career. He saw some new things. And I think mentally he might have been a little bit tired. Now that he's got a family, he went back to the drawing board and said, you know what, I think all focus should be on that World Cup. I've had my innings in Test cricket. Let's move on. As long as I can still play competitive cricket, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Right. And he's now quite clear he wants to focus on this one format. How do you see that decision playing out? Because a lot of players do pick and choose, but some sort of choose T20s. Someone like Steve Smith is sort of given up other for one-day cricket, for example, to focus on Test cricket. With Virat, with one-day cricket, obviously these are more sort of spaced out. The matches. How do you see that panning out, and just looking ahead to what his ambitions would be?
I guess that's still for me, right? I just missed a little bit of it. The nice thing about Test 20 is you don't have to pick between formats, right? So you can just play that, and you get the best of all three of the formats. The thing is, I don't think any player, especially with Virat's caliber, should be put in a corner where they feel like they have to decide. I mean that decision almost is a natural process. I went through a very similar phase in my career where I felt the pressure of having to pick and choose, but it should never come down to that, in my opinion. A player knows his body, his mind, and the mental state that he finds himself in towards the back end of his career. And I think a player like Virat earned the right to do exactly what he feels is best for him, for his family, and for his country.
The first thing sort of you want kind of things off another new format in the game with this calendar, but then I was told you're catering to the 13 to 19 year age group. So tell us a little bit about that. Was there not a temptation to get one of the to get some of the bigger stars to sign in and make the sell product that way? Just tell us about your thought process.
Sure. I think I was rather than getting the biggest stars, I think I was interested in creating a few more, for the market. I think that was the idea. I think the format is not, AB just mentioned this earlier as well. We are not competing with the existing formats to begin with because the age group is very different. We are rather, it's more like a platform that we are building for the younger lot around the world. And what happens is there isn't one unifying platform like this, which is where I think the thought process started. Differing the format is something which came about in the process of building this. We wanted to try something different. One of the things that I see my son not doing while he's playing cricket is he doesn't play for long enough. He's always just going out there and he wants to say, "Dad, I'm going to hit 2 sixes today when I go out." And I think that's the conversation I'm having in the house. Nobody is really saying, can you strategize? What did you do differently today? Most of the times it's about, how many wickets I took or, how many sixes I hit. I think that's the conversation I'm having. That needed to change because I think this generation must understand, and like Sir Clive Lloyd said, I mean, the legend himself is here, is that, test needs to come back. People need to understand how do you actually play a long game, which is why it is called the test, right? I mean, you're being tested on almost every parameter of the game. And I think if the skills are given to them at this age, I think they will turn out to be far better cricketers, which is where I think this concept works. And I'm very glad that in the journey I had the backing and support of these legends from the game. So yeah, I think I'm very excited to bring this to the world. And I don't think we are competing with any other format. So I think that is something which we are not worried about at all.